It is the Transformers Star Wars collaboration of the Millennium Falcon, with Han Solo and Chewbacca merging into the epic ship. Yes, this is way back from 2006, but I figured what better way to celebrate May the 4th, Star Wars Day, than actually doing a Transformers Star Wars crossover. And since I already did The Mandalorian a while ago, you get this one. So I bought this like a year ago, and I've been waiting for the right time to do a review, and now I'm gonna do one. So yes, this is from 2006, and it features two robots that look like Han and Chewie that merge into the Falcon. So we're gonna break this out and go through it. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle, welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks so much for coming back, that's totally awesome. And I want everyone to have a wonderful Star Wars Day, even though this is probably gonna come out partway through Star Wars Day. But there's always Revenge of the Fifth. Where is Kenobi? So, we're gonna break this out, have some fun with it, and celebrate thousands of years of Jedi and Sith fighting, and smugglers and Wookiees. All right, be right back. So, yes, the box is from 2006, and if you really look close, you can see that Chewie's arm is missing. It fell off. It is rattling around inside the box. So what do you expect after 19 years? But you can see on the back, it shows the two bots and merging together, and there's some electronic sounds and such. I don't know if they still work because it's been 19 years, but we'll give it a shot. If there's an easy way to switch out some batteries, I may do that. We'll see. And it also comes with little itty bitty pilot figures of Han and Chewie. So nice. But all right, time to get out the knife, give it a slice. This has not been opened. I got it, I said almost a year ago at a con. It was their only Transformer item that I could find that I wanted. And even then it was like, but we take it out and it's big box. In there they are without the plastic over them. And again, there's this little piece that I just found. I don't know if that's part of this. And there's Chewie's arm, which I hope will reattach very easily. And these look like the wire ties, so you really have to punch through. They snap nicely, so. And here's a missile, and it's got a little bit of deteriorated elastic on it. And there's deteriorated plastic on the fist of Han here. Let's see if we can get him in standing shape. And there is Han Solo, or Solobot, or whatever you want to call him. Seems a little leaning to the back, but we're going to zoom in on him. So there's one-armed Chewbacca. He does knock over Han. Well, you know what they say. The great Wookiee philosopher always says, which basically translates to shit happens. Now, there's some weapons, that missile, a gunish type thing, another missile, a cockpit, and these guys don't like to stand up. There's an itty-bitty Han Solo, an itty-bitty Chewbacca, a radar dish, and I am sad to say that Chewbacca in the package, for whatever reason, his arm didn't just pop off, it snapped off. And the other piece, I can't see it. If I could, I might be able to put it together with some glue and get his arm on there rather. So we're gonna just have to see how far we can go with the arm as is, because I've already started this thing. We're not stopping. It's only a flesh wound. Now I do have to say, right out of the box, it's very wobbly. By the way, when I see this vendor at the con, I will be having words with them about selling me a broken toy. So right away, I'm not pleased with this. With the brake, I mean, it was totally sealed in here, so I don't know where that piece would have went. Say that, let's look at the instructions. We do have a Star Wars product catalog, which shows a lot of Star Wars action figures, 3 3/4 inch checklist and vehicles and all that stuff. Now, when I was a young boy, my father bought me some Star Wars action figures. Yep, I had a lot. But when Transformers came around, I was hooked. But still, it's nice to see the collaborations. Just not happy that this one is a broken collaboration. So apparently to get this into his full mode, the cockpit goes on Chewie's shoulder. Of course, the bowcaster is supposed to go into his right hand, but that's not happening. And for Han here, put the radar dish on his shoulder, load the missiles into this blaster, which just fell. Let's try this again. It fits in his hand, barely, and again, Chewbacca's been partially disarmed. The minifigures currently have joints so they can sit, and they'll probably go into the cockpit later. But before we look at the vehicle mode, let's look at the posability, and we'll start with the guy who has both arms. So I'm gonna take this gun out so it doesn't go flying out of his hand and hit face down and the missiles go flying, but there he is, Han Solo as a robot. I am Solotron. I'm going to give him a careful spin on the turntable of doom so he doesn't fall over. You can see all the kibble. Now the legs actually do have a little bit of an ankle swivel, so you can put him in a little bit wider of a stance. But the important thing, he can do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's pretty amazing. And of course he should be able to kick forward, but this is blocking the way, so you might have to angle it out a little bit so you can kick forward slightly to the side. Same thing with the back. You can do a side kick. Actually, such a side kick. I mean, you can do more than a split. That looks very uncomfortable. Ouch. He can bend at the knee and he can swivel, but his kneecap thing blocks it. So you need to bend his knee a little bit, then he can swivel. Can he twist at the waist? That's not happening. That would have been a shock. Arms can go back and forth, but they can't really go all the way around unless you push them outward. And even then, he runs into some interference. His shoulders are quite low, but his arms can go out to the side and actually back. They do swivel, and the fists can actually twist. Gotta make sure they are fully extruded for that to happen. The head turns all the way around. Now, I did see in the front on the picture, he had some kind of visor, but he does not appear to have that. So that might have been an early concept art thing, but he doesn't have it. So he's got some posability, but considering how clunky he looks, he's actually got more than I expected. All right, let's put him aside for the moment. We'll bring out our Wookiee, which the gun came out of his hand, and let's give him a spin on the turntable of doom very carefully. So you can see he's got like the back of the Falcon on his back. Now I'm guessing that the batteries are either removed, probably not removed, probably don't work. So before we go through the posability, I'm just gonna take these out. They haven't corroded too much. There's definitely some corrosion in there. I'm gonna try new batteries.
5 hours later.
I'm afraid of replacing the batteries, and both of them, no electronic lights, no electronic sounds. So we're screwed. All right, again, legs very loose. But let's go over some posability on Chewbacca here. Full Jean-Claude Van Damme, not a problem. Does he have ankles? Not really, no. He's not designed for that. Can he kick forward? Well, this can come forward and he can kind of kick, not even really. Back, he can kind of kick a little bit. Side kick, not a problem. He can bend at the knee in both directions. It's kind of scary. And there does appear to be a swivel for the lower leg. The arm would be arms, but could normally go all the way around, but you got to kind of move it out to avoid the back of the ship there. You can go off to the side. The fists apparently can twist, so that's not a bad thing. Kind of has interior bends. I'm not even sure, did I? He's got elbows. I don't think I showed that. The head can turn all the way around, and while they made Han's head look kind of cybernetic, they did not do that with Chewie. It's just a Wookiee head. All right. Yeah, his joints seem very loose. If this is right out of the package and that was how it was, I'm not happy. If they somehow reattached all those ties after it was returned broken, I'll be pretty mad. So we may have to finagle this into place for the transformation, but that's how we would look with two arms. But all right, let's get them into their Millennium Falcon mode, which is probably where it's going to stay. So there it is, the Millennium Falcon as a transformer. So it's hard to tell in this mode, and again, I'm probably going to keep it in this mode. Robot modes kind of suck. And the arm problem with Chewbacca appears to be some form of like gold plastic, or in this case, brown plastic syndrome, because another piece of it fell off just when I was transforming it. But luckily, once you transform it and you put the arm in place, it's held by enough other pieces so you can have the Millennium Falcon. It looks a little bit different than the regular Millennium Falcon, I think. I think there's more of a gap here normally, and it's still not bad overall. There is this missile on the side, which fires pretty well, and getting all the plates in place can be a bit of a pain, especially when it's a 19-year-old toy, and the batteries definitely don't work. Brand new batteries in there. Nothing's happening. This is supposed to glow in the back. I mean, I am a big fan of Star Wars. I saw Star Wars, the original, now called A New Hope, in the theaters in 1977. Yes, a little up there in age. But I love Star Wars. I love the sequels. I love Han Solo and Chewbacca. It was a great pairing. I love the Millennium Falcon. In fact, there is the radar dish that Lando knocks off in Return of the Jedi. Some bitch said not a scratch. And again, there are these little itty bitty guys. Their arms, Han's arms move. Yeah, they both have movable arms, but they move together. So they're really good for directing planes in. So we can open it up. Now the cockpit is not like the standard cockpit. Side by side, so one has to go in the front, one has to go in the back. There's also a place for one of them to sit here if they want to be using the gun, which because of the missiles ends up running into the radar dish. So maybe Lando had a point knocking it off. It was interfering. He's got landing gear. Oh, and this is the bowcaster. Now it's the bottom gun. Shoot at stormtroopers. This is the landing pads, landing gear. I can flip up, and now possibly if you take off the bowcaster, you might be able to put this on some kind of stand and have it in flight. I will probably just put out the landing gear and have it in Mos Eisley Spaceport. You'll never find a more wretched hide of scum and villainy. Never tell me the odds. Yeah, I like it much better in vehicle mode. Individual robots are kind of cheesy, loose joints, broken arm, but still, I have a Millennium Falcon and I could say, no, I don't collect Star Wars. This is a Transformer. See, honey? Not that I have anyone who's gonna complain about my collection, because they'd be out. So yeah, now do I recommend this toy? Maybe if you find one unbroken, even if it's in the package, obviously look through the packaging at the arms, make sure that Chewbacca's arm is in one piece, make sure all the arms are in one piece. If it's loose, check it out, make sure it's not broken, test the electronics. The electronics would probably be really cool, but can't use them. As a Transformer, yeah, not loving the figures. As a ship, I like it. So I'm gonna rate this kind of low. I don't really have a numbering system, but if I did, this would probably be like a 3. And 3 is being generous just because of the Millennium Falcon mode and the nostalgia that brings back. Now, if you want to go ahead and try to find one, I will certainly put links in the description. You can check that out. I mean, it's fun having a Millennium Falcon, and I hope, even though this is not the best of toys, I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you are enjoying this content, by all means, feel free to subscribe. And I do want to mention, we do have memberships now available. Our first live stream is May the 6th. So right after Revenge of the 5th, May the 6th, though it could be Revenge of the 6th, it'll be our first members-only live stream. So you don't want to miss that. So you can sign up. Well, again, links below, and while you are mulling over this 2006 less than wondrous piece of engineering, though the transformation was kind of clever, you can check out this video over here, which is another Star Wars crossover, but much better. It is The Mandalorian. This is the way. And again, happy Star Wars Day. We will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.